Folks, if you've been thinking about putting off your next grocery run, this might be the moment to reconsider. Here's what's quietly unfolding. Over the past year, throughout 2024 and 2025, we've watched droughts intensify, wildfires spread across key farming regions, and weather patterns become more unpredictable than ever. At the same time, global conflicts and economic slowdowns have added pressure to already fragile supply chains. Those weren't isolated events. They were warning signs. Now, in January 2026, we're beginning to feel the ripple effects. Prices are climbing. Certain products are disappearing faster than they are restocked. And if these patterns continue into February, we could see tighter shelves and longer gaps between deliveries. This isn't about panic. It's about preparation. Millions of families could face food strain if disruptions deepen, especially the most vulnerable. The good news? You still have a window right now to make smart, calm decisions. So let's walk through 30 critical grocery items worth considering. Practical staples that can help protect your household if supply chains tighten further. Number 30, survival essential, canned butter. When fresh dairy becomes unreliable, most people don't think beyond powdered milk or margarine. But picture this for a moment. It's a few months from now. Fresh butter is nowhere to be found. Refrigeration is inconsistent. Meals feel repetitive. Morale starts dipping. Now imagine opening a can of real butter, spreading it over warm bread, stirring it into rice or potatoes, turning something basic into something satisfying. That's where canned butter like red feather quietly becomes more than a luxury. It becomes a reliable source of essential fats and calories. In extended disruptions, fat isn't just flavor, it's fuel. A single can last for years unopened. And when food variety shrinks, small comforts matter more than we expect. Think about that for a second. Canned butter is also versatile. You can bake with it, fry with it, add it to high-energy snacks. In off-grid situations, that flexibility matters. While others may be relying strictly on beans and rice, having a balanced source of fats gives you nutritional stability. And in uncertain times, that stability counts. Number 29. Premium canned sardines in extra virgin olive oil. I know what some people think when they hear canned fish, but let's look at this practically. In a crisis, high-quality protein becomes harder to secure. So do omega-3 fatty acids. Sardines offer both compact, shelf-stable, and ready-to-eat. Brands like Wild Planet, packed in extra virgin olive oil, provide not just protein but heart-healthy fats as well. That combination supports immune function and sustained energy, especially during stressful periods. Let that sink in. You're getting protein, healthy fats, and essential nutrients in one small tin. They're also incredibly versatile. Eat them straight from the can. Spread them on crackers. Mix them into pasta or salads. When options narrow, flexibility becomes valuable. And with a long shelf life, they remain dependable long after fresh proteins are gone. Skipping them now might not seem like a big deal. But a few months into tightened supply, you may wish you had them. Number 28. White vinegar. White vinegar often sits quietly in the pantry. But in a prolonged disruption, it becomes one of the most underestimated tools you can own. First, food preservation. Vinegar's natural acidity helps extend the life of certain foods. In situations where refrigeration becomes unreliable, that matters. It can help slow spoilage and protect what you've already invested in. Now think about hygiene. If commercial cleaners become scarce or too expensive, vinegar steps in as a practical alternative. Mixed with water, it can help sanitize surfaces and reduce bacteria in your environment. And when medical supplies are strained, maintaining a clean space isn't optional. It's protective. Most people don't realize how valuable multi-purpose items become until shelves thin out. Vinegar isn't flashy. It's not exciting. But in a constrained environment, simple tools that serve multiple roles are often the most powerful. As we move deeper into 2026, preparation isn't about fear. It's about quiet resilience. The window to prepare calmly is open right now. And small decisions made in January can make February and beyond far more manageable. And vinegar's usefulness doesn't stop at cleaning. Because of its mild acidity, it has also been used for minor first aid situations. In an emergency, people have used diluted vinegar to clean small surface wounds, help neutralize jellyfish stings, soothe certain skin irritations, or ease the itch from insect bites. It can even serve as a natural deodorizer when fresh water for bathing is limited. In other words, don't underestimate it. Whether you're preserving food, maintaining hygiene, or handling minor discomforts, white vinegar quietly becomes one of those items you're grateful to have. It's inexpensive, widely available right now in early 2026, and incredibly versatile. Adding a few extra bottles to your pantry today isn't about fear. It's about giving yourself options. Number 27. Lard. Lard might not be trendy. It may even feel old-fashioned. But let's think ahead for a moment. If butter becomes scarce, if cooking oils are rationed or priced out of reach, what's your backup fat source? This is where lard deserves a second look. With proper storage, it has a long shelf life. And in a prolonged disruption, high-calorie fats become critical. You can fry with it, bake with it, or even spread it on bread for a dense, energy-packed snack. Here's the part many people overlook. Fats are essential for survival. They provide sustained energy. They help maintain body warmth during cold periods. They support hormone production and help your body absorb fat-soluble vitamins. Without enough dietary fat, weakness can set in quickly, physically and mentally. And during a food shortage, strength matters. Lard also has non-food uses. In a pinch, it can grease tools, assist in basic soap making, or even help waterproof certain materials. Multi-purpose items become extremely valuable when store shelves aren't reliably stocked. It may not be glamorous, but in uncertain times, practical beats glamorous every time. Having lard on hand could quietly make hardships more manageable if conditions tighten further into February. Number 26. Canned beets. When people build an emergency pantry, they often default to corn and beans. And while those are important, eating the same thing day after day can wear on you. Now picture opening your pantry months from now. Rows of neutral-colored cans, and then one vibrant splash of deep red. Canned beets. They're not just visually different. They're nutritionally powerful. Beets contain iron, potassium, and natural nitrates, nutrients that support circulation and overall stamina. Brands like Del Monte sliced beets are known for their strong shelf life. You can eat them straight from the can, toss them into a salad, or mix them into hot dishes for a subtle sweetness that breaks the monotony. And here's something worth pausing on. Research has shown that dietary nitrates from beets can support healthy blood flow and may help maintain balanced blood pressure. During stressful times when fatigue runs high, that kind of support matters. Canned beets help round out your nutrition. They add color, flavor, and micronutrients that are often missing in basic emergency staples. As supply chain strains that built throughout 2024 and 2025 continue to ripple into 2026, variety and nutrient density become strategic advantages. Waiting until shelves thin out limits your choices. Picking them up now keeps your options open. Number 25. Ghee clarified butter. Ghee, also known as clarified butter, has been used for generations for a reason. Imagine a world where refrigeration becomes unreliable. Regular butter spoils quickly. Fresh dairy disappears from stores. Ghee doesn't have that same vulnerability. Because the milk solids are removed, it has a significantly longer shelf life than ordinary butter. It's stable, rich, and highly versatile. You can fry, sauté, or spread it. Its high smoke point makes it ideal for cooking when you need reliable heat tolerance. And like other fats, it provides dense calories, something your body depends on when food options narrow. Beyond nutrition, there's something else. Flavor. That warm, nutty richness can transform simple rice, beans, or vegetables into something more satisfying. And during uncertain times, small comforts have a powerful psychological effect. They help maintain a sense of normalcy. Fats play a foundational role in survival planning. Ghee stands out because it combines shelf stability, cooking flexibility, and nutritional value in one compact form. As we move through January 2026, preparation isn't about overreacting. It's about recognizing patterns that have been building since 2024 and 2025 and responding calmly while shelves are still stocked. A few thoughtful additions today can make the months ahead far less stressful. Ghee is one of those pantry powerhouses people often overlook until they need it. When emergency supplies become your lifeline, having a long-lasting fat that can transform even the simplest meal makes a real difference. A spoonful stirred into rice, A quick sauté. A spread on bread. That familiar, heartwarming taste can lift more than just flavor, it can lift morale. As we move through January 2026, while shelves are still relatively steady, adding a jar or two of ghee to your stockpile is a quiet, practical step. It's the kind of decision you're unlikely to regret if conditions tighten in the months ahead. Number 24. Canned black beans with sauce. Let's be honest. Plain canned goods can get repetitive. Rice and unseasoned beans will keep you alive, but day after day, bland meals can wear you down. Now picture this instead. You open your pantry and grab a can of black beans already simmered in sauce. Rich, seasoned, ready to go. Options like Goya black beans with sauce don't just provide protein and fiber, they bring flavor. And flavor matters more than people expect during extended disruptions. These beans can be eaten straight from the can, stirred into rice, added to chili, or mixed into soups. That built-in seasoning helps turn basic staples into meals that actually feel satisfying. Protein, fiber, essential minerals, and a taste that breaks the monotony. Many shoppers assume plain beans are enough, and nutritionally they are. But when stress is high, small upgrades in flavor can protect morale. That's not indulgence. That's sustainability. If supply pressures that began building through 2024 and 2025 continue into early 2026, seasoned, ready-to-eat options may move quickly. Having a few cans set aside gives you flexibility and variety when you need it most. Number 23. Honey. Honey might seem like a simple sweetener, but in a long-term emergency pantry, it becomes something much more. First, energy. When you need a quick boost, especially if meals are smaller or more spaced out, honey delivers fast-absorbing carbohydrates. That immediate energy can make a real difference during physically or mentally demanding days. Second, shelf life. Pure honey has an incredibly long storage life. Properly sealed, it can last indefinitely. But here's something important. Not all honey is equal. Prioritize pure, raw, unprocessed honey from reputable brands like Nature Nates or Dutch Gold. Quality matters. Now pause for a moment. Honey also has natural antibacterial properties. In situations where medical access is limited, it has traditionally been used to help soothe sore throats and support minor wound care. It's not a replacement for professional treatment, but in constrained conditions, having options matters. Unlike refined sugar, which can clump or degrade in humid conditions, honey remains stable and usable. As we sit here in early 2026, watching supply chains continue to adjust to last year's pressures, that may not always be the case. A few jars tucked away now can serve as sweetener, energy source, and practical backup all at once. Number 22. Shelf-stable tofu. Have you considered shelf-stable tofu for your emergency pantry? Most people associate tofu strictly with vegetarian diets. But in a crisis, protein diversity becomes incredibly important. Vacuum-sealed shelf-stable tofu, especially silken varieties, can last for months, sometimes even years. Picture this. Your usual canned meats are running low. Bean options are repetitive. You need something different. That's where tofu steps in, not as a compromise, but as a versatile protein source. It absorbs flavors easily. You can add it to stir-fries, mix it into soups, blend it into smoothies with shelf-stable fruit, or incorporate it into rice dishes. Its adaptability makes it valuable when ingredient choice is narrow. Protein supports muscle strength, immune function, and overall resilience, things you'll want intact if disruptions extend further. Adding shelf-stable tofu to your stockpile simply widens your options. And in uncertain times, options equal security. Number 21. Peanut butter powder. Now let's talk about peanut butter powder. Traditional peanut butter is already a staple, but the powdered version offers a few advantages that become more obvious during long-term storage. First, shelf life. Peanut butter powder typically lasts longer and takes up less space. It's lighter, easier to store, and less prone to oil separation issues that affect regular jars over time. Second, versatility. You can rehydrate it into a spread, stir it into oatmeal, blend it into smoothies, mix it into sauces, add it to baking. It delivers protein and flavor without the same storage concerns as traditional peanut butter. In situations where refrigeration is unreliable or space is limited, lightweight, compact nutrition matters. As we prepare calmly in January 2026, aware of the pressures that built over the last 2 years, small upgrades like this can quietly strengthen your pantry. It's not about overreacting. It's about building resilience, one practical item at a time. Imagine having that familiar nutty peanut flavor ready whenever you need it, without worrying about refrigeration. Products like PB2 powdered peanut butter take something we already trust and make it even more storage-friendly. It's lightweight, compact, and shelf-stable for years when kept sealed properly. That means you can store more in less space, an important factor if you're building out your pantry in early 2026 while availability is still steady. And nutritionally, it delivers. Peanut butter powder provides protein and essential fats, two things your body relies on for sustained energy. Powdered milk and protein bars have their place, but in longer disruptions, having multiple calorie-dense options adds resilience. What really makes it stand out is versatility. You can rehydrate it into a spread, stir it into oatmeal, blend it into smoothies, mix it into sauces, add it to baked goods or even savory soups. When emergency meals start feeling repetitive, a simple ingredient like this can shift the entire flavor profile. It's a small addition that quietly strengthens your food security. And months from now, you may be glad you included it. Number 20. Canned coconut water. You might be wondering why coconut water. Picture this. The power goes out. Clean drinking water is available, but limited. You're sweating more than usual. Stress is high. Plain water helps, but something feels off. That off feeling can often be electrolyte imbalance. Canned coconut water, like Goya coconut water, naturally contains electrolytes such as potassium, magnesium, and sodium. These minerals help support hydration, muscle function, and overall balance. Dehydration isn't always dramatic. It can creep in quietly, causing fatigue, headaches, muscle cramps, even heat exhaustion in extreme conditions. Coconut water acts like nature's sports drink. It's not a replacement for clean water, but it can supplement hydration during physically demanding or high-stress situations. And because it's canned, it offers a solid shelf life. As we move through January 2026, watching supply patterns remain unpredictable after the climate and economic pressures of the past 2 years, having hydration support beyond plain water is simply smart planning. Number 19. Canned spinach. Fresh greens are often the first things to disappear when supply chains tighten. So what happens when produce sections start looking sparse? Canned spinach steps in as a reliable backup. It's rich in iron, vitamin A, calcium, and other essential nutrients that support energy levels, immune health, and overall strength. In prolonged disruptions, micronutrient deficiencies can develop quietly. You may not notice immediately, but over time they matter. Picture adding spinach to soups, mixing it into casseroles, stirring it into rice dishes, even eating it straight from the can if necessary. It's not glamorous, but it's dependable. When stress is elevated and nutrition options are limited, maintaining nutrient density becomes crucial. A few cans of spinach can help bridge the gap if fresh greens become harder to find in February or beyond. Number 18. Canned artichokes. Canned artichokes might sound like a gourmet indulgence, but take a closer look. They're high in fiber, antioxidants, and nutrients like magnesium and folate. Those nutrients support digestion, heart health, and overall vitality, especially important when diets become repetitive. Marinated varieties add extra flavor, which can transform simple meals. Toss them into pasta. Add them to stews. Mix them into rice dishes. Or enjoy them straight from the can. Here's something many people underestimate: variety protects morale. When meals feel dull and nutritionally narrow, fatigue sets in faster, both physically and mentally. Including items like artichokes keeps your pantry more dynamic and your nutrition more balanced. They're not just for special occasions. In uncertain times, they're a strategic addition. Number 17. Dehydrated vegetables. Now let's talk about efficiency. What happens when canned vegetables become too heavy to transport or simply harder to find? That's where dehydrated vegetables shine. Brands like Harmony House offer lightweight, shelf-stable options that take up minimal space. They store for long periods and rehydrate quickly with water. Picture adding them to soups, stews, rice, or pasta. Within minutes, you've added color, flavor, and nutrients without opening multiple cans. They're especially valuable if mobility becomes necessary. Lightweight food matters if you ever need to relocate or manage limited storage. As the ripple effects from 2024 and 2025 continue influencing availability here in 2026, dehydrated vegetables aren't flashy, but they're reliable. And in times like these, reliability is what truly counts. Dehydrated vegetables aren't just for camping trips. They're a smart long-term strategy. When fresh produce becomes harder to find and when canned goods feel bulky or limited, dehydrated vegetables help maintain nutritional balance without taking up valuable space. They store compactly, last for extended periods, and rehydrate quickly when needed. In a tightening supply environment like the one we are watching unfold in early 2026, adding dehydrated vegetables now, while they're readily available, is simply about keeping your pantry flexible and well-rounded for whatever the coming months bring. Number 16. Canned tomatoes. When it comes to true pantry staples, canned tomatoes are hard to beat. They're not just another can on the shelf, they're a foundation ingredient. Rich in vitamins A and C, canned tomatoes support immune health while adding depth and brightness to countless meals. Their natural acidity also gives them a reliable shelf life, making them especially practical for long-term storage. Picture building a pasta sauce from scratch, simmering a hearty stew, pulling together a quick soup with limited ingredients. Without tomatoes, those meals can feel flat. With them, you have richness, color, and versatility in an instant. As supply pressures that built through 2024 and 2025 continue to ripple into this year, keeping versatile, flavor-building staples on hand is a practical move. A few extra cans now can unlock dozens of meal combinations later. Number 15. Canned chicken in emergency preparedness. Protein is non-negotiable. Imagine walking into a store and seeing the fresh meat section mostly empty. It's a scenario we've already glimpsed during previous supply disruptions. That's where canned chicken becomes invaluable. Brands like Swanson Premium Chunk Chicken Breast offer shelf-stable, ready-to-eat protein that stores easily. You can add it to soups, mix it into casseroles, layer it into sandwiches, or eat it straight from the can. It provides concentrated protein to help maintain strength and energy, especially important during prolonged stress. Plant-based proteins absolutely have their place, but having animal-based protein options broadens your nutritional coverage and keeps meals more satisfying. As we move deeper into January 2026, stocking shelf-stable protein, while it's accessible, is a calm, practical decision. Number 14. Salt. Salt may seem ordinary, but in a survival context, it's essential. Your body needs sodium to maintain hydration balance, support muscle function, and regulate critical processes. Without enough salt, dehydration and muscle cramps can develop quickly, especially in high-stress or high-heat situations. Morton iodized salt offers another advantage: iodine, which supports thyroid health. It's a small detail that often goes overlooked until it becomes a problem. Salt also becomes a preservation tool when refrigeration isn't reliable. Historically, it has been used to extend the life of food long before modern storage methods existed. And here's the practical reality: salt lasts indefinitely when stored properly. It's inexpensive. It's widely available right now. And it plays multiple roles. In uncertain times, having more than enough salt is simply wise. Number 13. Ramen noodles. Ramen often gets dismissed as a college staple. But take a second look. These lightweight, affordable packets have a long shelf life and take up minimal space. And during prolonged rationing, when meals feel repetitive, ramen offers something incredibly valuable. Imagine coming home after a long, draining day. You're low on energy. Cooking from scratch feels overwhelming. Boiling water and opening a ramen packet can feel like a small relief. You can customize it easily. Add canned vegetables. Stir in canned chicken. Crack in an egg. Sprinkle dehydrated greens. A simple base becomes a flexible meal. In early 2026, as households quietly prepare for potential supply tightening in the months ahead, inexpensive staples that stretch and adapt are worth including. Ramen isn't glamorous, but it's dependable. Number 12. Canned green chilies. When diets shift toward shelf-stable foods, one thing often disappears first. Canned green chilies solve that problem in a small but powerful way. Hatch-diced green chilies, for example, bring heat and depth to soups, stews, scrambled eggs, rice dishes, and beans. A single can transform a bland survival meal into something you actually look forward to eating. They also provide vitamin C, an added nutritional boost when fresh produce becomes less consistent. Here's something people don't talk about enough. Flavor fatigue is real. When meals feel monotonous, appetite drops. Morale dips. Energy follows. Adding a few cans of green chilies now, while shelves remain stocked in January 2026, gives you an easy way to keep meals vibrant and satisfying if disruptions extend further into February and beyond. Sometimes resilience isn't just about calories. It's about keeping food enjoyable enough that you can sustain the plan long term. Make no mistake, flavor matters. When meals shift toward shelf-stable basics, even a small upgrade can make survival food far more bearable. Number 11. Canned coconut milk. Canned coconut milk might not be the first thing people think of during food shortages, but it quietly earns its place. As fresh dairy becomes harder to access, a pattern we've already seen fluctuate since 2025, coconut milk steps in as a versatile alternative. Thai Kitchen's unsweetened coconut milk is one solid example that stores well and adapts to many recipes. Picture this. You're working with rice, canned vegetables, maybe some beans. Everything tastes fine, but flat. Now add coconut milk. Suddenly you have creamy soups, rich curries, even baked dishes with depth and texture. The natural fats in coconut milk also help you feel fuller longer, important when meal portions may be tighter. And because it's shelf-stable, it remains reliable even during power outages. It's not about replacing everything. It's about having options that add richness when fresh ingredients aren't available. Number 10. Hardtack. Hardtack isn't glamorous, but it has history on its side. Used for centuries during wars and long voyages, this simple mixture of flour, water, and salt, it doesn't mold easily. It resists pests. Stored properly, it can last for years. Yes, it's dense. Yes, it often needs to be soaked in broth or soup to soften. But when fresh bread disappears from store shelves, as we've seen happen briefly during past supply shocks, it's lightweight, compact, simple. In early 2026, while flour and basic ingredients are still accessible, preparing or purchasing hardtack is a quiet nod to time-tested resilience. Number 9. Canned bone broth. Now imagine this scenario. Your pantry is holding steady, but most of what you have are canned vegetables, grains, and water. That's where canned bone broth steps in. Options like Pacific Foods' organic bone broth offer collagen, amino acids, and essential minerals that support joint health, bone strength, and immune function. During stressful times, nutrient density becomes critical. You can sip it on its own. Use it as a base for soups. Cook rice or grains in it to add extra nutrition without adding complexity. It's more than liquid. It's a way to strengthen otherwise basic meals. As supply pressures from previous years continue influencing availability in 2026, having nutrient-rich additions like bone broth can help prevent slow, creeping deficiencies that many people don't notice until they are already fatigued. Number 8. Canned cheese. Imagine a stretch of time where fresh cheese simply isn't available. It sounds minor, until you try eating grains and beans for weeks without variety. Canned cheese offers protein and fat in a shelf-stable form that mimics the creamy richness of traditional cheese. It can turn plain mashed potatoes into something satisfying. It can upgrade canned chili. It can bring comfort to otherwise repetitive meals. Recent buying trends have shown more people quietly adding shelf-stable dairy alternatives to their preparedness plans, not out of panic but practicality. In January 2026, while these items are still relatively accessible, including a few cans gives you flexibility later. Number 7. Canned salmon. Many households rely heavily on canned tuna, but canned salmon deserves equal attention. High-quality options, like Wild Planet canned salmon, provide protein along with omega-3 fatty acids, nutrients strongly linked to heart health, brain function, and inflammation regulation. Recent research continues to emphasize the role of omega-3s in supporting mental wellness and immune resilience, especially during periods of prolonged stress. As we face unpredictable availability patterns this year, having a reliable source of healthy fats becomes increasingly important. Canned salmon helps ensure you're not just meeting calorie needs, but nutritional needs. Number 6. Canned sauerkraut. Canned sauerkraut may seem unconventional, But fermented foods play a unique role. Sauerkraut provides probiotics and compounds that support gut health, something that can easily suffer when diets become heavily processed or repetitive. With fresh produce sometimes limited during supply disruptions, canned sauerkraut offers both vitamin C and digestive support in a long-lasting form. Picture adding it to sausages, mixing it into rice bowls, or eating it as a tangy side. That sharp flavor cuts through bland staples and helps maintain variety. And as we've seen since 2024, disruptions rarely announce themselves loudly at first. They build quietly. Having fermented, shelf-stable foods in your pantry adds another layer of resilience, supporting not just survival but overall well-being. In the end, preparation isn't about dramatic moves. It's about thoughtful additions, made calmly, while options are still on the table. Many brands, such as Hengstenberg, offer Bavarian-style sauerkraut that's rich in naturally occurring probiotics, beneficial bacteria that support digestion and overall gut balance. It's also a solid source of vitamin C and K. Recent nutritional guidance continues to highlight gut health as a frontline support system for immune resilience, especially during prolonged stress. When fresh produce becomes less reliable, shelf-stable fermented foods help fill that gap. Adding canned sauerkraut to your pantry now, while availability remains steady in early 2026, is a simple way to protect your digestive balance if fresh options dwindle in the months ahead. Number 5. Canned pineapple. Now let's talk about something bright. Imagine weeks of shelf-stable meals, grains, beans, canned vegetables. Nutritious, yes. Exciting? Not always. Canned pineapple offers a welcome change. Brands like Dole pineapple chunks provide vitamin C, manganese, and natural sugars that deliver a quick energy lift. In limited diets, variety becomes more than preference, it becomes nutritional strategy. Pineapple also contains bromelain, an enzyme associated with digestive support. When meals lean heavily on processed or dense foods, that can make a difference. Picture opening a can and adding sweetness to oatmeal, mixing it into rice dishes, pairing it with canned meats for contrast. It's a small detail, but small details matter when morale and nutrition are closely linked. Number 4. Dry lentils. Dry lentils don't always get the attention they deserve. Many households default to canned beans, and while those are valuable, lentils offer unique advantages. They cook quickly, often faster than dried beans, which saves fuel and time in emergency conditions. They're rich in protein, fiber, iron, and B vitamins, delivering critical nutrients in a compact form. And they are versatile. Lentil soups, stews, patties, rice blends. They help prevent the nutrient gaps that can happen when diets rely too heavily on refined grains alone. They're also cost-effective and store well for extended periods. As we move through January 2026, with supply chains still adjusting to the agricultural and economic strains of the past 2 years, stocking dry lentils is simply practical. They may look humble, but they are dependable. Number 3. Freeze-dried coffee. In uncertain times, small comforts take on new meaning. Freeze-dried coffee, such as Mount Hagen Organic Instant Coffee, offers a long shelf life and reliable caffeine source without the need for complex equipment. Caffeine isn't just about habit. For many people, it supports alertness, focus, and morale, especially during stressful or exhausting situations. Imagine waking up during a prolonged disruption. The routine feels unsettled, but you can still make a hot cup of coffee in minutes. That sense of normalcy matters. With quality instant options now focusing on better sourcing and flavor preservation, stocking freeze-dried coffee in early 2026 is less about indulgence and more about maintaining mental steadiness if routines are disrupted. Number 2. Powdered whole milk. Fresh milk is often one of the first perishables to disappear during power outages or supply interruptions. Powdered whole milk provides a stable alternative. Processing improvements over the years have enhanced flavor and nutritional retention. Properly stored, it lasts for years and delivers calcium, protein, vitamins, and healthy fats when fresh dairy isn't available. You can use it for baking, stir it into coffee, add it to soups, reconstitute it for drinking. Its flexibility makes it one of the quiet cornerstones of a well-balanced emergency pantry. As we watch early 2026 unfold, with grocery logistics still stabilizing from prior disruptions, having powdered milk on hand simply protects against one of the most common shortages. Number 1. Canned corned beef. And finally, canned corned beef. When fresh meat becomes limited, shelf-stable protein takes center stage. Products like Libby's corned beef provide protein, calories, and fat in a compact, long-lasting format. You can eat it straight from the can, crisp it in a skillet, mix it with rice, or pair it with potatoes for a hearty meal. In prolonged shortages, relying solely on carbohydrates can leave you feeling drained. Your body needs balance, protein, fats, and micronutrients. Canned corned beef helps provide that balance. It's dense, it's efficient, and it stores well. As we face an uncertain stretch in 2026, shaped by climate pressures, supply bottlenecks, and economic strain that built over 2024 and 2025, the advantage goes to households that prepare calmly and thoughtfully. From canned butter to peanut butter powder, from lentils to sauerkraut, each of these items plays a role. This isn't about fear. It's about foresight. January is still offering steady shelves. February may look different. If you choose to prepare, do it steadily. Build your pantry intentionally. Focus on nutrition, versatility, and morale. And remember, resilience isn't built overnight. It's built one practical decision at a time. Stay steady. Stay prepared. And take care of the people who matter most.